Hey coin collectors, welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Today it's the 1980 Roosevelt dime, and one of the questions we always have about 1980 dimes is there anything special about them? And the answer is yes. There's something very special about the 1980 dimes, and it happened in 1980 for the first time in history. The dimes first came out in 1946, and here's the 1946 Roosevelt dime right here, the year after President Roosevelt died. Magnify it up and we see that this is a little bit worn, and there's a reason for that, and that's because people used it all the time. This is a silver dime. It has about $1.60 worth of silver in it. If we flip it over to this side, we see that there is no mint mark on the back, no mint mark on the front. And in 1946, the mint marks were on the back, and they were right here. So for the Philadelphia Mint for 1946, they decided they would not put any mint mark on it. The Roosevelt dimes stayed that way with no mint mark on them until 1980. And then for some reason in 1980, they decided to start putting the Philadelphia Mint mark on the dimes. And so this is the first P in history on a U.S. Roosevelt dime. So what do we have? We have Roosevelt looking to the left. It says Liberty in front of him. In God we trust. P here for Philadelphia, 1980. And JS down here for John Sinek, the engraver of this coin. At the Philadelphia Mint in 1980, they made $735 million. These are a 75% copper, 25% nickel. And the nickel is a nickel-copper mix on the front and the back. And the inside is 100% copper. When we turn this coin over, we see it says United States of America, 1 dime. We get to the center, we see an olive branch, an oak branch, a torch in the center, and the important part of this torch is to look at these bands going across. There are 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom. If you can get full bands on a 1980 dime, you're generally talking in the hundreds of dollars, if not the thousands of dollars. The auction record for a Philadelphia dime from 1980 is $4,000. At a Mint State 68 without full bands, you can still get $1,100 for a dime. So there's so few of the full bands dimes that the best dime without a full band still goes for over $1,000. If you can get this even down to a Mint State 64 full bands, $1,250. They also made this coin at the San Francisco Mint as a proof coin. And we can see that this one is definitely a deep cameo proof. And you can see how the light changes and how reflective this is. At the San Francisco Mint, they made $3.5 million. The auction record for one of these is $719 for a proof 70. If you get down to a proof 64, however, for the proof coin, it's $6. So these coins were much better quality all around. We tip it up on its edge and we see that in 1980, it's still going to be a copper nickel-plated copper coin. And then if we get to the back, we see that this is going to have full bands, but it doesn't really matter because almost all the San Francisco Mint proof coins have full bands on them. At the Denver Mint in 1980, they made $719 million. The auction record is $2,880 from Mint State 66 full bands. If you can get this down to a Mint State 64 full bands, still $450. So the trick with these coins, the Denver Mint and the Philadelphia Mint dimes from 1980, is that you just can't get them in full bands. So if you ever do find any, especially in an uncirculated mint set or just in a coin roll that's never been opened, look for the full bands on the back because you're probably going to be talking in the thousands of dollars. We talked about the first Roosevelt dime came out in 1946. Well, here's the latest of them. I just got this in my change. Sometimes I buy stuff with cash just so I can take a chance in getting some new coins. And I got lucky with this one. It's a Roosevelt dime from 2023. You see this is also a Philadelphia Roosevelt dime. A lot of little pockmarks on it. If we magnify it up, we see the rim looks a little thin here, but if we turn it over the back, we can really see the difference. So sometimes with the modern dimes, you get a little separation up around the edge. So see how that's wide up there and separated. And whenever you get that, you get a real thin edge down here. This dime isn't worth any more than the other dimes, but it's nice to get these little differences. And whenever I find one of these with a separation, I always save it, even though it's not highly valuable. It's probably not worth more than a dime. All right, well, that's all we have today. from the DC Coin World Coin Channel. There's our 1980 Denver coin. Here's our 1980 San Francisco Mint coin. And there is our 1980 Philadelphia Mint coin, the first year ever that Philadelphia had a P as a mint mark on a Roosevelt dime.